700, I mean, think about that. 700 days. In that much time, you could, I don't know, learn a whole new language, right? Maybe travel the entire world. But what if for 700 days, nothing happened? Like, absolutely nothing. Today, we're diving into a story where the silence speaks louder than any words ever could.
So, yeah, today we're talking about Elias and Clara. Their entire relationship, or, well, non relationship, got completely derailed by one single misunderstanding that snowballed into almost 2 years of total silence. It's a wild look at how the stories we tell ourselves can become our own prisons. Okay, so let's set the scene. We're going all the way back to 10th grade. Picture a loud, chaotic school courtyard. The air is thick with that classic mix of teenage anxiety and, a whole lot of pride. And this one moment, this is the spark that lights the fuse on a 700-day silence.
And boom, this is it. This is the exact moment everything just goes off the rails. So on one side, you've got Elias's plan. He is so completely stressed out, so paralyzed with anxiety, he can't even talk to Clara himself. So what does he do? He sends his friend Marcus to do the dirty work. Now look over at Clara's side. How do you think she feels? She's insulted, right? Kind of slighted that she wouldn't even ask her directly. So to save face, she tells this tiny little lie. I have a boyfriend. And just like that, in that one single instant, two totally different realities are created.
And that one failed connection, it sets off this long, long quiet. I mean, we're talking 2 years. They're walking the same hallways, sitting in the same school, but honestly, they might as well be on different planets.
You know what's so wild when you look at it laid out like this is just how empty those 2 years were. It all kicks off on day one with that lie. And then what? Crickets. For almost 700 days, the only connection they have is this one tiny 3-second glance in a crowded hallway. That's it, until senior year when fate, or maybe just their drama teacher, steps in and casts them as the romantic leads. Now, they're forced into a situation they literally cannot escape.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question, right? The one you're probably thinking right now. With all this crazy, unspoken tension, why doesn't one of them just break the silence? Well, as we're about to find out, it is nowhere near that simple. There are these huge forces, both inside and out, that are keeping them totally locked in place. So being stuck together in drama class, this is where things start to change. It's where we finally start to see some cracks in that armor they've both been wearing for years. For the first time, they're starting to see past the performance and get a glimpse of the real person underneath. And oh boy, this is where we really see what's going on behind the scenes. So Clara actually sees Elias have a full-blown panic attack in the library over his grades. And later, she overhears his mom just ripping into him for getting a 98. A 98. Suddenly, she starts to get it. He's not cold or arrogant. He's literally crumbling under all this pressure. But at the same exact time, Elias overhears Clara's friends making fun of him, calling him a loner. And for him, that just confirms his worst fears. He's an outsider. He doesn't belong in her world. See how they're both getting the wrong picture? Wow, this just perfectly captures the tragedy of the whole situation. They're alone on the school roof. I mean, it's the perfect moment, right? But just look at what's going on in their heads. Elias is still seeing the girl with the boyfriend, the girl who shot him down. In his mind, she is completely unapproachable. But Clara, all she's thinking is, he finally noticed me. He's looking right at me. Why won't he say something? They're standing just feet apart, but that 700-day-old lie might as well be a brick wall between them. And then we have this moment. Elias has passed out from pure exhaustion, and he's in the infirmary. Clara stays with him, and thinking he's completely asleep, she just whispers the truth. I've been waiting for you to look at me for 700 days. It's the first time her real feelings are ever spoken out loud, and it just shows you how long she's been waiting too. Okay, and this is the real turning point. Their drama teacher basically throws them a curveball. He thinks the play's big confession scene is falling flat, so he tells them, forget the script, write your own ending, write something real. And that's exactly what's about to happen. You know that word catharsis? The idea of releasing all these pent-up emotions? Well, that's what this is. That stage is about to go from being a fictional setting to a full-on arena for the truth. The lines they're writing for their characters, they're really the words they've been dying to say to each other for 2 straight years. So they're in rehearsal and the dam just breaks. Elias, pouring all of that pain and confusion from the last 2 years into his character, he just unleashes it.
I couldn't fight for you because you chose someone else. It's the one thing, the one belief that's been poisoning everything.
And Clara's response? It isn't some quiet line from a play. It's an explosion. There was no one else. With just those 4 words, she shatters his entire version of reality.
So think about that. After 700 days of missed chances and wrong assumptions, the silence isn't broken by some quiet, private chat. Nope, it's shattered by a scream on a stage for everyone to hear. The truth is finally out. Okay, so now that their whole unspoken script has been torn to shreds in front of everyone, they actually have to deal with it. They have to go from this huge, dramatic climax to a real, honest-to-goodness conversation. So after that bombshell on stage, they finally sit down and talk, for real. And this table, it just lays out perfectly how far apart they were. Look at this. He was convinced she had a boyfriend and had totally rejected him. She thought he was this cold, arrogant guy who hated her. And the truth, the reality in that last column, it was just a botched message and 2 solid years of fear. He thought she was popular and happy. She thought he was a lonely brainiac. The truth is, they were both just feeling completely isolated and misunderstood. Now that the air is cleared between them, Elias has one last script he has to deal with, the one his mother wrote for his entire life. She literally gives him an ultimatum: quit the play and study for the MCAT, or else. But he doesn't. He defies her. He goes on stage opening night, and that stage kiss with Clara becomes very, very real. And his final move? He stands up to his mom and chooses a local college so he can be with Clara. He's finally writing his own ending.
And this brings it all full circle, doesn't it? They're back on that same roof, but this time it's graduation. And he says to her, I'm finally looking at you. And you just know, he doesn't mean just with his eyes. He means he's finally seeing her, the real her, with no lies, no assumptions, no unspoken scripts in the way. It's the real beginning. It's such a powerful story about how badly things can go wrong. And it really leaves you with something to think about, doesn't it? It makes you wonder, how many of our own stories, our own relationships, are shaped by a script that we never even meant to write? How often do we let one misunderstanding dictate months or even years of our lives without ever stopping to ask, was that even true to begin with?